The FBI has indicted 3 members of Ron Paul's 2012 presidential campaign with bribery. Oh boy. Now, according to this indictment, Jesse Benton, who is, by the way, the current leader of America's Liberty PAC, which is a super PAC supporting Rand Paul's presidential bid, Ron Paul's former campaign manager, John Tate, and former deputy campaign manager, Dimitrios Kesari, allegedly arranged payments of more than $70,000 to former Iowa Senator Kent Sorensen. Why? To switch his endorsement from Representative Michelle Bachmann to Ron Paul. There's more information. The 3 have been charged with conspiracy, submitting false campaign expenditure reports, and submitting false records to obstruct an investigation. Some very, very serious charges. Benton has also been charged with making false statements to the FBI. Ooh. Now, Benton's lawyer, Roscoe Howard, says, no, my client has fully cooperated with the government during the investigation, but I think that this investigation, well, this has got a political bent to it. Quote, that this indictment is now suddenly announced on the eve of the first Republican presidential debate strongly supports our belief that this is a politically motivated prosecution designed to serve a political agenda, not to achieve justice. And this was, of course, in a statement emailed to The Hill. What political agenda? You want to discredit Ron and Rand Paul, who, by all accounts, so far, don't really have anything to do with it. I mean, speaking of Ron Paul, he told MSNBC, I am extremely disappointed in the government's decision. I think the timing of this indictment is highly suspicious, given the fact that the first primary debate is tomorrow. My thoughts and prayers are with the families of those involved. I will not be commenting further on this matter. Well, as I said, just because you're in a campaign, that doesn't mean the person running the campaign or the person that you're supporting with your campaign, especially with our super PAC rules, well, that doesn't mean you're colluding, doesn't mean you're talking to each other. The whole point of a super PAC is that you don't coordinate. Now, I've shown you how easily you can break those rules, but I genuinely don't think that Ron Paul was stupid enough to say, hey, you know what, go try and buy an endorsement from this no-name senator. It seems really ridiculous to me. According to the indictment, the 3 men allegedly transferred payments to Sorensen by recording the expenses in Federal Election Commission filings as audiovisual related purchases that first passed through a production company before getting transferred to an account controlled by Sorensen. So basically they were trying to use super PAC rules, right, to transfer that money. Oh, we're going to make a video. We're going to make a campaign video. They didn't, and it ended up just going as cash into Sorensen's account. Interesting. Now, Sorensen pleaded guilty to contributing false FEC reports and obstruction of justice back in 2014. So he already was guilty with it. Pleaded guilty with this, okay? Now, it's also important to note that Jesse Benton, remember, he is the leader of Rand Paul's super PAC, one of them at least, America's Liberty PAC, is also married to Rand Paul's niece. Now, Paul vouched for his character back in December, saying that, quote, I think Jesse Benton is honest, he's good at politics, and I don't think he's ever done anything wrong. Well, as far as the not doing anything wrong part, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Now, for my part, I don't understand why anybody would want to buy an endorsement from any politician, knowing that it's so obviously illegal to do so. And from what I can consider a no-name senator like Kent Sorensen, I haven't even heard of the guy. I didn't even know who he was before this whole thing came out. Doesn't seem like he wields a lot of influence, at least as far as I know. I could be wrong. I could be very wrong. He could be a very influential senator. I don't know. But as I said, for me, it makes no sense. Especially in our system, where it's so easy to legally bribe somebody to set up a super PAC and run ads on behalf of a congressman. Wouldn't that be enough? As I said, it's not like the FEC can really do anything about that, right? Half of them over there don't even believe in any sort of campaign finance laws, much less enforcing the ones that we have. I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something. But it seems to be incredibly stupid to do what they did. And look, I want to be clear here, right? I don't think Rand Paul or Ron Paul had anything to do with this personally. I think they are protecting people that they know, protecting their friends. I think anybody would do that. And as so far, there's no evidence Ron or Rand did anything wrong. So, I don't really think that this should reflect badly on Rand Paul's campaign. Now, I've got a ton of problems with Rand Paul. That said, I'm not a supporter of Rand Paul. I disagree with him about 90% of the issues. I think he'd be a disaster for the country economically. But however, it doesn't seem like Rand Paul or his campaign or anything like that is involved in trying to buy an endorsement. So I don't see how this could be a political motive aimed at Rand Paul. If he had nothing to do with it. As far as the evidence shows, he's got nothing to do with it. It shouldn't affect his campaign. I don't know. What it does seem to me to be is obvious corruption. And it's good that we're cracking down on that obvious corruption, because this kind of stuff is what needs to be dealt with. As I said, I don't think it's going to hurt Rand Paul's campaign. It shouldn't hurt Rand Paul's campaign unless he had something to do with it. As far as I know, he hasn't. So we should probably just continue with that and make sure justice is served.